Right. Now recording.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Loose Screws podcast, the loosest and screwiest, least dangerous podcast. This is episode 233, and it is May 9th, 2024.
33, 10, oh, 10.
Man. Yeah.
We're gonna have a good
Everybody,
time.
slow on the uptake for that.
I'll slow your uptake.
Yeah. I am Commander Nurgle, and joining me tonight are an assorted cast of characters, including Commander Audaxius.
Hello, Governor.
Commander Larkshadow.
I'm a Scot.
Commander McGeek.
Hello, everybody.
Commander NL8.
Tations.
And Commander Oblivious.
Cost me 33,000 arcs to join this podcast.
Hey, you got off easy.
Perfect. That's a good show title, too. All right, so let's go around and see what's going on in our community. So, Mr. Audaxius, what's up in your world?
Oh, not much. Never much. Just entertaining myself in general chat. And buying the Python Mark II. I should say, hold on. I bought the ARCs to buy the Mark II and then haven't gotten around to buying it yet.
Perfect.
I just like seeing that ARCs balance on the screen. You know, it feels good. Feels great.
Get in there and buy the damn thing.
And in a week of gameplay, I still have no handle on the overcharge and when to cut it off to not overshoot. I will figure it out someday.
Or crash into a planet trying.
Or just crash into the planet, yeah. Anyway.
I mean,
so,
either way, you stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have not blown up yet. So, I don't know. I'll crash into the sun at some point, I'm sure. That's what's up with old Daxie.
All right. Larkshadow, what's up in your world?
I got the Python Mark II. I also am in the process still of getting assorted SCO drives. And I have actually smashed into the side of a planet at like warp 60 or whatever. And it was atomized post haste. It did not go well.
I'm going to have to go do that just for fun.
Like seriously, like part of the challenge is actually hitting the planet, especially if you're in a smaller ship, because some of the smaller ships really get knocked around some.
It would be cool if they added an in-game stat in your commander profile of the times that you've done that.
How many times you have reduced your commander to atoms?
Yep.
Planetary face plants.
Yep.
And I have just been drowning in BGS because we'll cover that later.
Yeah. All right, Commander McGeek, is this your first time?
This is my first time.
Cool.
Oh.
Well, what's up in your world?
Well, not much. You know, just initiating wars and then losing said wars.
I don't know if you've been told, but that's not the right way to do that.
Yeah.
Somebody
mentioned it.
The old land war in Asia routine, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's your problem.
Yeah, shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good show title.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Commander Hate, what's up in your world?
Oh man, I like to think that no news is good news, and I've got a lot of no news.
That is good news.
That is good news. Yeah. And Commander Oblivious.
Well, I did the same. I went out and bought the new ship, and I have also crashed into a planet. And I'm quite certain that crashing into the planet, waiting for the cooldown to occur, still got me there faster than the old way of not crashing into a planet.
The ultimate litho breaking.
That's it.
Cool.
And I just want to take a moment to point out that it's McGeek's first time on the podcast. This man has been a stalwart of the community. He's been here for 4 years. He is just an excellent human being, and I would recommend to anyone getting to know him. And I really hope he's embarrassed right now because that was my goal.
Here, here.
And the check
Thank
is in the
you,
mail.
sir.
Orcs in the mail. Yeah.
Oh wait,
The
I
arcs.
didn't know this was a paid gig.
Wait, you
Yeah,
guys
but
are getting paid?
But it's in
Yeah.
arcs.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's worse. It's an FDev stock.
oh,
Oh.
Wah,
Well, at least
wah.
you get that. I only get paid in World of Warcraft gold, and I have to try and convert it to arcs.
God.
Yeah, the
Too
conversion
soon?
on that's got to stink.
Yeah.
Too soon, Nurgle. Jesus.
So-
Savage.
Well, hey. So I too plunked down a chunk of arcs and bought the new Python Mark II. I have not gotten really started on engineering it yet. And like a dummy, the first thing I did was, okay, everybody says it's basically a fat FDL, so let's go try it out. Let's go just hop into a CZ with it. Fresh off the carrier, unengineered.
Ba-da-dum.
Yeah, I had that problem too. And the problem is you end up flying a non-engineered ship like it's engineered and get blown up real quick.
Exactly. I was happy that I escaped without blowing up.
Oh, I did blow up.
But it was touch and go there for a little bit. I almost bailed before I took out one ship. I mean, literally, I took out one ship and bailed. But and we'll talk about the Python Mark II later. On a personal note, my retirement was official as of May 1st.
Golf clap,
yay!
yay.
We were kind of talking in the pre-show meeting about first world problems, and I've
Got a few?
I've spent most of the last 30 odd years of my life working 5 days a week, sometimes 6, and now I'm working for sometimes 3 with a little part-time job. I have 3-day weekends. I'm home by noon. I don't know what to do with myself.
Welcome to the club, brother. It's
I
fun.
just
Nice.
yeah, it's different. I did not think it would be quite the culture shock that it is, but it is, and in a good way. But
Might I recommend either music or RC planes as a hobby?
I've been down the RC plane route, not going down that road again. That is that is the path of disappointment and pain.
Yep, you re-kit your aircraft every landing.
Or you rebuild your aircraft after
Not a landing?
we'll generously call it a landing.
Generously.
Yeah, not going down that road again. Enjoy building them tremendously. Don't like watching them turn into splinters when they hit the ground.
Oh, I've got a video for you later.
No, that would be way too painful. It would be way too painful. And also, last week, after years of prodding from all the students on my archery team, I actually went and shot in an archery tournament of my own.
Ooh.
Nice.
And a little local tournament, nothing big. I came in 8th out of 24 people.
Solid.
But it was an interesting experience. 10 out of 10 will recommend, or can recommend. We'll do it again.
I also need to point out that as I'm flying around, I just saw a fleet carrier named Financial Burden. And I think that's hysterical.
That is hysterical. All right. Let's do a quick squadron update here, and then we'll get into the discussion. So, since none of us have bothered to load the soundboard, does anybody want to make me an intro for the squad update?
No, I got the soundboard. Hold on, give me a second.
What?
Loading up the soundboard.
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
I don't know how to do this with actual real, recorded sound effects. All right, somebody's cruising for a whooping. All right, so the 2 highest priorities right now are we have a war in Tamor that we want to win. That's for control of the system. We'll talk more about what's going on there in just a second. And in Howard, we are trying to prevent a war by raising our influence. We're within a couple of percentage points of another faction in Howard, and we desperately need to raise our influence, or really anybody except the After Dark Initiative faction in Howard, so we can try to get some separation there and avoid an unnecessary war. In the rest of Screw Space, there are 4 other wars currently in progress. All of them pale in comparison to what we're currently doing in Tamor and Howard. So please concentrate on those first.
Roger that.
And this came up in the Discord this afternoon, so I wanted to go ahead and mention it here. Remember the number one rule of fighting wars in Elite Dangerous: you do ground combat zones to make money, you do space combat zones to win wars. And that is because ground combat zones, highs in terms of winning the war, count about half as much as an equivalent space CZ. And as you go down the chain to medium and low, they count even less. So space CZs to win, ground CZs to make money.
And may I have a moment regarding BGS to address the whole After Dark initiative bullcrap that's been going on?
Well, then hang on. Let me make this one little note right here, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Yep.
So Operation Red Dawn, which, as Lark Shadow just alluded to, is pushing After Dark Initiative out of control in all of their systems that have res sites for bounties. And we are doing that. We have talked to the people at After Dark Initiative. Now, they're mostly explorers. They're out in the black. They're doing their thing. We have told them we want to do this. We're doing this with their blessing. And we are doing this because somebody is pushing After Dark Initiative in multiple systems, creating conflicts and stirring a bunch of things up. And we want to deny them a source of bounties. So, Lark Shadow, go.
So I don't know who is pushing all this. There's been rumors that it's Antal, rumors that it's Feds, rumors that it's Imperials messing with Feds. The point is that there is a lot, and I have confirmed this by looking on a bunch of different power play subreddits and discords. There is a ton of movement going on in power play right now in anticipation for 2.0 coming. Like people are getting ready. They are raring to go for this crap. The problem is that it is monumentally farking with our PGS right now. So if it is a power play group in the sound of my voice, please join the Loose Screws Discord. We don't bite much. We just want to talk. That's it.
Yeah. We might even help you if you tell us what your goals are.
Right. We're good neighbors. Just don't piss us off.
Yeah.
I bite.
Yeah, well, but you've had your shots.
To be fair, when Daxi bites, it's because someone paid him. So, I mean, that's up to you.
Oh, God.
I got dark.
I'm giving away my secrets, bro.
We also, around Screw Space, have a handful of systems that really do need to have a wet blanket thrown onto them because of the overheating. The usual suspects, the 6 and 7 Andromeda, are 2 of the worst at the moment.
It's always the Andromedas.
It's always the Andromedas. They're bad seeds. We are still loosely trying to expand out of BD 67 1409, and I did that wrong. As of this evening, that system is at 74.7%. 75 is the threshold for expansion. So if anybody within the sound of my voice could drop a mission or 2, or maybe 1 million in bounty vouchers on BD 67 1409, just enough to push us over that 75% threshold and get that expansion going, that would be fantastic. And as usual, there's a ton of stuff going on right now in the squad. There's multiple wars, there's systems to cool down, there's systems we need to prop up. There's an expansion we're trying to push.
And that is running on fumes. Please come help.
Yeah, and that's just the BGS. That's not all the other stuff that's going on. So if you want to get involved, Blooming Wind puts a fantastic standing orders post in the Loose Screws faction section of the Discord. You can go there and find out what the current missions and targets are. If you have any questions, you can post in the Loose Screws faction channel that's right there, and one of us BGS geeks will be more than happy to ramble on and on about how wonderful BGS is.
Basically, until you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, we tried to stop before that, but no promises. No promises. So yeah, that's what's going on in the squad. So, briefly want to hit on the Thargoid War because we're actually going to talk about this when we get to discussion topics somewhat too. But the AXI has targeted the Hadad Titan for extermination next. So if you want to know what's going on with that, you can go check out over at DCOH or over on AXI's Discord.
Or poke someone in our AX channel.
Yeah. For the current going-ons over there, I understand, and I should have looked before we did this, but I understand Hadad still has a lot of control systems, so this is not something that's going to happen overnight. There may, since two of our events coordinators are in this channel, there may actually be some Orthrus hunting at Spire sites at some point in the future.
Yeah, I legit want to do a combined arms night with people on foot and in ships.
That would be a lot of fun. I want to do that too.
See?
I'll get around to it.
So
I know.
And that was both of our events coordinators that said they want to do that. So,
Oh, and now it's on the record.
so TikTok.
Crap.
TikTok.
We walked right into that, Daxie.
I always do.
In the immortal words of Samuel L. Jackson, TikTok, motherfucker.
I also want to point out regarding Hadad, because this was freaking hilarious. When the minor update that had, the Python Mark II and stuff came out on the 7th, there was also, at least for like half a day to a day, a small bug where Hadad basically lost all of its systems.
Well, then, since we're segueing now into the discussion section for bugs from 1804, it wasn't just Hadad.
It was all of them?
It was at least Hadad and Indra. And we're not sure about the others because they're not getting near as much traffic, but it was at least Hadad and Indra. And Hadad on the few hours after the patch went live, Hadad had more than 30 control systems completely cleared.
Jesus.
Basically, everyone was like, "Are we bombing?" And then FDev was like, "Oopsie," and updated it.
And have they rolled this back?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. It was like within 24 hours that was not only addressed.
A couple hours after it went live and it was obvious this was going on, we were talking about it on the Discord, and I had made some comment about it. Oh yeah, I could smell the incoming rollback. And like 15 minutes after that, tracks was going rollback in progress now.
Yeah.
Like, oops, that was not intended. Let's roll that back.
Mm-hmm. Someone on the Thargoid group looked at the map and it was like expletives all over the office.
Like, I mean, I know they're ready to wrap up the Thargoid War and move on, but I don't think they want to wrap up the last 5 Titans in 3 days.
The campfire's winding down, pour some diesel on it.
But yeah, that's all been rolled back, thankfully, because it needed to be.
Yeah.
I think a couple of the other issues that have come up is I know a lot of people are having issues purchasing ARCs through the store.
If you are having issues purchasing ARCs through the store, because I was one of those people, one of the biggest issues that they've been seeing is that their bank is having, I guess, a somewhat hard time converting dollars to pounds or quid or diddly doos or whatever frick they use over there. And so that's causing the, transactions to actually get denied. It's not anything on our end or their end. It's just the bank being stupid. And so if you do encounter that, an easy way around it, if you have a Steam account, I'm looking at you, Commander Blooming Wind. If you have a Steam account, you can actually purchase ARCs through Steam. You just have to click on the store page for it. And then there is an other I can't remember the word, accessories, something along those lines tab that you click on. And that's where you can purchase ARCs through Steam. And Steam can convert it to British pounds without issue. And so that's how I would recommend to do it.
And speaking of our Commander Blooming Wind, he tried multiple times with like different bank accounts, different credit cards, all kinds of things.
Oh, yeah.
To purchase ARCs and kept getting denied. He actually opened a ticket with FDev. FDev got back to him today and said that the nationality of his bank was different from the nationality of his credit card, and that's why it wasn't going through.
Oh, I can read the text of the letter he got.
Oh, there you go. There, yes,
Yeah,
please,
get
if
it.
you have it
Hold on,
open.
I had to scroll it up. Yeah. So
Wait, you scrolled up?
You can-
Mr.
yeah.
Newman, upon the request to review of your purchasing attempts, we have ascertained that the issue is that we do not want your filthy colonial money. Any further attempts to sully our pockets with your traitor's drivel will be met with further rejections. Respectfully, Frontier Developments.
Oh,
I thought it was kind of mean.
I had no idea I was serving him up for that. I thought he was actually going to read the letter.
Oh, wait, that was, I thought that was the letter.
As far as anyone's concerned, from now on, that was the letter.
That was the letter. Yeah, that was the letter. That was the letter. So, and I know there have been some issues reported with the new Python Mark II kits about not being able to remove or swap modules. I don't think that's a bug. I think since those modules are locked to that ship and they have 0 credit value, I think that's a feature. And I know in my case, I just sold those modules for 0 credits and then freely replaced them with a store-bought module without problem. So I don't think that's a bug. I think that's actually the way they've designed it.
And that is an easy way around it to get them off your ship, is to just either sell them for 0 credits or replace it with like a E or D normal module. And then you can put in whatever engineered bullcrap you want after that.
You can't even do that. It won't let you replace it. You have to get rid of it. Because those modules are tied to that ship.
Huh.
Well, and I think that's because they're 0 rebuy.
Oh, that makes sense now when you say that.
Yeah. So then they haven't come out and said that, but my gut feeling is that they've tied those modules to that ship, and you have to either get rid of them, or you have to get rid of them to put something else in there.
Yeah.
And chances are it's only going to be a 3-month problem anyways, because when it's out on the normal market, at that point, that won't be an issue anymore. So,
well, but that's only if you bought one of the ship kits. So like I bought the fully equipped Mark II, the combat build, whatever they're calling it, Stellaris or Stellar Edition or whatever it is.
I just got the standard E-rated one.
Yeah, see, and so that one, the combat build, comes with a bunch of A-rated modules. And
mine came with a bunch of E that still had that issue. That's my point.
Oh, it did?
Yep.
I said that's probably not intended.
Yeah, and like I said, that's probably just going to be a bug that exists for 3 months because it won't be an issue once the Python's on the market.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. So, everybody except Adaxius who's had a chance to play with it, first impressions of the Python Mark II?
First impressions, I'm honestly probably going to end up using that as an AX ship because, like, for how I fly and anti-Thargoid stuff, that actually fits the role perfectly, specifically for me, because it has way more firepower and bullcrap than I'm ever going to need to put the versatility into the ship that I like. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, with the internals it has, you're not going to get a lot of versatility anyway.
Well, no, I'm talking like versatility and firepower. So I could have like 2 of the enhanced multi-cannons. I can also have my torpedoes. I can also have missiles, also have a beam. I can put it all on there, I'm
just wondering where you're going to put an SRV bay.
Bend over and I'll show you.
Wow. That was fast.
Oh, damn. That went to a dark place.
Quick draw.
He's had that one ready.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
He was waiting, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that impulse is just right on the money. Just not all the time, but sometimes it's a home run.
Like I said, I have not had a chance to really engineer mine other than just a couple of small modules. But somebody, and it may have been Lark Shadow, who said that it kind of handles like a fat FDL.
It does.
And it does. It handles like a fat FDL. I'm going to, this is probably, at least until the new ship smell wears off, this is probably going to be my my little runabout PvE combat ship, I think.
Nice.
Turn it into a massive shield tank. Not sure what kind of weapons I'm going to put on it yet. I'm tempted to put cyto scramblers and 4 frag cannons on it and just make it stick my nose in something. A giggle machine, yeah. Now, I'll have to see how well it handles after I fully engineer the thrusters to see if it's got the maneuverability to make that work. But I might even go 6 frag cannons if it's got the maneuverability, because that would be it would be just more fun than the law allows.
I've been working so hard with ships that I know I can fly well and that are engineered. So I haven't played with the Python Mark II too much.
Yeah.
From what I have done, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to need to definitely engineer and beef this up. One thing I really want to try that I haven't yet is taking my engineered short-range cannons off of my T10, all 4 of the large ones, and sticking them on this guy to see what happens.
Oofed.
Call it the module deleter.
Yeah. The ship deleter
So
with 4 of them.
check me on this, and I haven't flown the FDL to be able to compare it to, but something I think I'm noticing when I boost with this, it seems like right at the end of the boost, when the boost stops, the speed falls off a lot quicker than anything else I've flown before. Just and not across the board, but just like maybe the first second or two, it's like somebody put on a brake. Anybody else feel that with this ship?
I do, honestly. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of kind of the flight characteristics of, like, if you mash together there's my dogs. Hold on. If you mash together a Viper Mark IV and like the weightiness of the feel, both in FA off and FA on, with like the speed that an FDL can turn, that's kind of how it feels like to me. Because the reason it does that is because while it is a lighter, faster ship than like the normal Python, it still has that Python weight on the rear end when you try and swing that thing around.
And I know it has better pitch and yaw than
way better. Holy
than
crap.
a regular Python. It remains to be seen if, once you engineer the drives, if it's going to have a tendency to wash out in corners like the FDL does, or if it'll still have, if it won't have enough pitch or yaw to cause it to flat spin like the FDL does. It may be just below that threshold of maneuverability where it can't outturn itself.
Yeah, which means once it's engineered, you will be able to outturn yourself just a little bit. So that'd be something you'll have to watch for.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have to be quite as aggressive on the pips as you are with the FDL. But I do think it would behoove the Mark II flyers out there to go back and forth with engines while you're turning just to see what happens.
Yeah.
My wife's getting ready to take the dogs for a walk. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It may actually end up being it probably will end up being more forgiving than the FDL, which means you can be a little bit more aggressive with how you throw it around and it won't come back to bite you in the ass, which ironically will make it easier to fly.
For my money, it feels like it's kind of like right in between what the FDL and the Mamba are, like both combat wise and like flight characteristics wise, because it doesn't turn as quick or sharply as in a snap turn like the FDL can, but it's probably not as good as a jouster as the Mamba can be. It's kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's never going to joust like the Mamba. The Mamba was practically built for
Mamba
jousting.
is the knight of jousting.
Yeah, but don't give up on how maneuverable the Mamba is too.
Oh yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on the Python Mark II before we move on?
Have you flown a Geek?
I have not. I am waiting for it to be available via credit.
Boo. I'm just kidding. That's fine.
Fair enough. It's a fair decision.
I'll just say I hope I like it.
I think you will.
Better make my money worth it, Frontier.
Like I don't know what I was expecting in my head when I got it, but it didn't match that, but it still impressed me in a different way. Does that make sense?
If it's anything besides the FDL, I will be happy.
Well, it is.
That's the FDL's the worst ship in the game.
You take that
are in a fan club of very few
take
people.
those words out of your filthy mouth.
The FDL is the tribal arm tattoo of the Elite Dangerous universe. A ton of people have one. A ton of people have it, and you have no originality.
Tribal archive.
God.
You're telling Lark he has no
I've
originality?
said that for years.
He's telling the president of the FDL fan club that. That's me.
I'm glad. You know what? I love that for you. I love that for you.
Oh, frick, that was funny.
That's like
Bastard.
saying, bless your heart.
Bastard,
Bless
yeah.
your heart.
Bless his little heart.
I will say, whether you like or hate the FDL, I put 4 medium rapid fire cannons on my FDL, and that just makes me laugh like a maniac every time I use that ship.
Oh,
I'm sure you have
I've got
fun.
medium cannons that fire faster than small cannons fire.
Cool.
yeah, I'm going to have to try the all cannon build. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's so stupid. I love it.
All right, so moving on. Have SCOs made the old FSDs obsolete?
No.
Maybe.
Not entirely.
For the purposes of this conversation, I
No.
will be JN Tracks. Yes,
Here
old
comes the wet
FSDs are
blanket.
obsolete. There's nothing but SCOs. Scrap them all. Re-engineers for SCOs. Go now.
Not every ship needs it. You don't have to throw all your materials out the window now that there's a new shiny thing. I'm going to stick it on about half my ships, but there's a bunch of them that for the purpose it serves, I don't have to spend the materials.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. On existing ships, yeah, no. But anything new you purchase,
Yeah.
there's no question, right?
Yeah. For my purposes, it's going on all of my BGS ships, and will probably go on my exploration Sidewinder as well, just because I think it would be funny.
All right, so
I pulled
what's
up the NR page for frame shift drives, and comparing the 7A to 7A SCO, there is a 10 million credit difference. Now,
it's
if
nothing.
you've got more than 300 hours in, credits aren't the currency, engineering materials are.
True.
For now, that might change too.
So for Lark and Audaxius, you say they're not going to necessarily use it on everything. What's the what for you is the cutoff for where the SCO is superior to the old FSD, or the other way around? Where is the
If I
The same,
actually
yeah.
fly it, it's going to get an SCO. So my Corvette and my Courier are definitely going to get it. And then one of my exploration ships, probably my Phantom, is probably also going to get it.
I think the rate limiter is the gas tank. There's a certain. I mean, I legitimately fly small ships quite a lot, and there is a trade off as far as how much your gas tank can hold versus the distance you would be able to go with a small gas tank. That it doesn't actually save that much time. You're going to be able to make a judgment call whether it's worth it or not. I'd fly the Cobra Mark III a lot. I don't know if I'm going to stick it on that. I probably will just for fun, but I don't know if the numbers are going to add up that it makes that big of a difference.
Yeah, like for
Also,
instance,
your gas tank, like your tritium hauler Type 9. I don't need it on that. I'm not
Right.
spending the materials for that.
yeah.
So, like for instance, for me, like it immediately went on my Python Mark IV, which is, as everyone knows, is my favorite ship in the game.
Your Python Mark IV?
Sorry, Viper Mark IV.
You're a couple updates ahead of us there, buddy.
Whoa, Lark's on update 37.
Yeah, I'm in the beta club. No, it's a different branch. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Lark was in the partner program this whole time.
No, I immediately put it on my Viper Mark IV.
You're a partner.
That thing has a gas tank of either 12 or 16 tons. I can't remember which. It's not big, but it's not small either. And yeah, it can burn through fuel pretty fast if I go full balls to the wall the whole time. But if I hit the boost and then throttle it back to like half, I still get there a lot faster and I don't burn through as much fuel either. I'm also not on fire when I arrive, which is important, but I'm still playing with the engine.
Ooh. This might be too much of a tangent. Has anyone figured out if the fuel consumption while boosting is exponential or is it set?
I haven't done the math. I couldn't tell
I'm
you.
sure. I don't even know how you would go about that, but
I think somewhere, because I vaguely remember reading something about this, that it is based on how much throttle you give it.
Yeah, because hyperspace fuel consumption is exponential, right? Like I didn't know if that curve was modeled in the boost or not.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a side tangent.
That matches real life too, because like I've played enough flight sims in the fighter jets that I have for flight sim. If I go full afterburner, I can literally look down at the fuel dial in that jet and watch it go down because I'm using fuel so fast.
Oh, well, that's with the whole air resistance thing, which led to the argument in general chat where I was asserting that there is air in space and it's a conspiracy that there's not. But I think I kind of lost that argument
Comprehensively.
No, but yeah, like if you look at how engines work, that tracks because
I
the
never
throttle's
said my
wide
opinion.
open.
I never said my opinions were correct. I just said they were sincerely held.
Yeah, it does use fuel faster based on your throttle, and that's fine because that's how engines actually
balanced.
work.
I never was one to fuss about the physics of the game. I think they like towed the line well enough. But if it's game balance and it's fun, I'm like, that's great. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yep.
And everybody, you heard it here first. Audacious is sincerely wronged.
Can confirm.
Sincerely
I'm
wrong
just wife
and
that confirmed.
it's sincerely held, even if it's sincerely wrong.
Fair enough. All right. So
proceed.
I made the mistake of dipping my toe into the FDev forums this afternoon.
Oh God.
Oof. I'm surprised you survived.
In my defense, I was looking for a list of known bugs from 1804.
Yeah, but you're like the guy in the horror movie that like nonchalantly ends up at a hotel. Well, I just need a room for the night, and then you're dead 6 hours later.
Hey, I know.
Really
Guys,
wanted to
split up.
Exactly. Exactly. And that forum was, I'm not going to say filled, but there were a fair number of posts about play to win.
Oh God.
And
what do you think about pay to win, McGeek?
well,
this isn't it.
Yeah.
there was one post about the being able to buy early access to the Python Mark II and how that was pay to win and how this is the road to hell. This game is going to go up in flames. I was very happy that the sixth after the first 4 people agreed with the original poster, the sixth post on that thread was one line, and it was, how exactly do you win Elite?
Exactly.
I love that so much.
Exactly.
There is no end game.
What does winning look like? I said in like what is on the screen when you've won? Show me that screenshot.
Show me that screen.
Yeah.
Raxla.
There it is.
That's how we find it.
That's-
and we have none of us
That's
have
winning
won
the
yet.
game.
Yeah, that's
Well,
winning
we
the
all
game.
win when we find Raxla. So
I thought winning the game was initiating a war and then losing said war.
Oh, you've won a dozen times over.
you've
then,
won
huh?
so much.
So dang much.
Yeah, it is so. But the modern video game culture and the internet makes all these preformed opinions so easily accessed, and people feel like experts because they read it. And I'm like, that's like you didn't give this any thought.
How intellectually dishonest can you be to say 3 months early access is pay to win?
In a game that you can't win.
Here's my favorite thing, because I got to thinking about the whole pay to win debacle, and had a thought today that just made me giggle sitting there at my desk at work regarding this whole thing. So the whole reason why everyone's so afraid of pay to win is because the whole pay to win thing came around for mobile games, how they monetize and how mobile games actually make money, right? Which if the mobile game can make money doing that, whatever, I'm not going to spend the money on it, but more power to you if you got someone who will, right?
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, pay to win's going to destroy the game, blah, blah, blah. Road freaking Shadow Legends is one of the most popular mobile games in the world. So
And it is
F off all you
100%.
people saying that.
And it is 100% pay to win.
110%.
I just the people who think this is pay to win, I keep coming back to this meme I saw years ago when Che Guevara t-shirts were really popular. And it's somebody asking a kid, why are you wearing that t-shirt? Oh, I think it looks cool. I don't know who it is, but I think it looks cool. And the response to that is, I do know who that is, who that is, and you're a fucking idiot. This
Fair.
is so far away from pay to win. You can't see it from here.
The whole in the game for years, it was it kept a lot of people away from the game. But the idea of like the learning cliff, like Lee doesn't have a learning curve, it's a learning cliff, and there's so much so many details, so many keybinds, yada yada,
which
yada.
is not untrue.
And it's like they have set that up. It's baked into the game. That will never change. Elite goes pay to win if you could like pay real money to have your Type 7 fly like an FDL. If it was getting into where they were toying with the flight model, which is the game, that's the only way you could get out of territory. I think people are concerned because what you see with other video game companies is that regardless of the particulars, it is a slippery slope, and it's a slippery slope that typically gets more and more abusive. But the way they designed the game, it would be a very clear it's hard to have a slippery slope because again, your skill as a pilot is how you win, and they can't sell you that. It would have to be something that they're changing the mechanics of the flight model, which they would not do. They know what their bread and butter is.
And somewhere Volt is screaming at you about how E7 is more maneuverable.
Or we cross that line if they ever, and this goes right back to what Haight said earlier. What is the in-game currency? It's not credits. It's engineering materials. If they sell engineering materials or engineered modules for ARCs, then I think we've crossed the line. Yeah. And if we ever reach the point where there are ships you can only buy with cash that are not available in the game, we've crossed a line. Other than that,
I really respected that the pre-buy ships, the criticism is valid that they're. And like I'm like, they designed it that way. It is just a starter. You're going to replace a bunch of that stuff. And and some people are like, well, it's not, they don't even play their own game because they put shit modules on it. I'm like, I'm glad they did. No, I'm pretty sure that was an intentional decision.
It was. They did that for a reason because those ships will do what they're designed for. They won't do it well. And as soon as you get any experience and learn what you're doing, the first thing you're going to do is say, oh, I got to change some of this shit.
Yeah.
And they, at the same time, they priced it so that you won't feel cheated or that it was a waste of money.
Right. And all that said, T8 when?
Yeah. I mean, maybe the Type 8 flies better than the Python Mark II. We don't know.
And to go back to what you were saying about being a pilot, being a good pilot, and that's kind of what it all boils down to is, I got enough credits. I've got enough materials that I can engineer anything. I can buy any ship I want. I'm still a shit pilot. So I PvP against somebody, you're going to win.
Exactly.
Wait, so if you being a bad pilot means if you pay to lose, if someone else pays to win, it's you paying to lose.
Yes.
Is that how that works?
But I'm in that same boat. Yes.
No, if you're a bad pilot, even if you're attempting to pay to win, you're just paying to lose.
Exactly. I would like to think. I would like to think I would make some of the hardcore PvP guys work for it, but the end result is not in doubt.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah. I feel I've come so far from my early days of being morally offended by any type of monetization or microtransaction, and regardless of why I ended up there, I'd like to think I haven't lost my critical eye for those things. And the way they've done it, I'm like, they did what they had to do in a way that was like honestly the best way possible.
Yeah, and it got me to spend money, so there's your answer.
Except now the cosmetics that are now 4 times the price or like 8 times the price. I think that's a load of bull crap.
That's a load of crap.
Yeah, that's a different
inflation. Because I'm there are I'm going to say a bunch of us, but me and Chig primarily, we made the decision that we were going to stop buying ARCs after the Odyssey disaster, because the only way you can really, talk to a game company, not just FDev, but any of them, the only way you can really tell them, hey, dude, you done fucked up, is to show them with the wallet.
Oh, no. Right, Nurgle, you write them an open letter. We all know this.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do need to talk about. We need more open letter.
We'll put that in the community corner.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in community corner.
Yeah,
somebody go ahead and add that.
Keep going.
Somebody add that to community corner. Put a link in there if you got one. Anyway.
Okay, so it has to be Audacious, and he has to do it in the voice.
I'll read all 73 pages. Anyway, Nurgle, keep going.
But so like me and Chig, because I know, and I'm going to use me and Chig as the example because we talked about this on the show at the time. We made the decision that we were not going to buy any more ARCs until they fixed their shit. Well, here in the past, I'm going to say 6 to 9 months, I feel like they've pretty much fixed their shit. So I've gone back to buying ARX packages. And I was ready, on May 7th to plunk down for a fairly big ARX package because I wanted to buy the new Mark II. I was probably going to buy some paint and some other stuff. And then they've jacked up all these prices. And yes, I want them to monetize the game. I want them to have a way to generate revenue to keep the game going because selfishly, I want to continue to play this game.
Weird that.
Weird how that works. I think just severely jacking up the prices. I mean, they quadrupled the price of some of the really cheap paint jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a way to get me to part with ARX.
Yeah, there's some cosmetics that are more than Odyssey now.
Yes, and here's I was thinking about this, and let me play devil's advocate for a sec, because I think I know why they went up so high. Not just the reason we all think of, they need money, duh, but because the spot on impression, right?
Yep. Yeah, close enough.
But because if you look at everything they've said and what's going on in game, you can earn a ton of ARX in game just by playing the game too. So if you combine that with how much just getting like a pack of ARX is as well, it's really not that bad. Do I think the way they went about it was awful? Yes, but is FDev known for ever being good at that sort of thing? I'm going to refer to the crater where Odyssey's launch used to be.
See, here's the perfect example of where they've gone too far. So I bought early access to the Python Mark II. The stellar version of it comes with that ugly ass red paint job, which I detest. I don't like red to begin with. It's ugly as hell. So the first thing I did was open up the menu to buy a new paint job for it. There are only 4 skins available for the Mark II. They're all 6,000 ARX.
Yeah, Jesus. The base ones aren't available for it yet.
So you know what? It's going to keep that ugly ass red paint job because I'm not spending 6,000 ARX on paint.
Yeah.
I mean, they could at least give us like a raise the cap, the weekly cap that we can get.
They did.
They did?
No, they didn't. It's still 400.
No, it's still 400.
No, I thought it was 800 now.
No, it's still 400.
I just logged in. It's 400.
Yeah.
Well,
so
basically, I saw somewhere it was going to go up to 8.
Yeah. So basically, they've increased inflation, but not given us the price of living increase.
And had they kept
that
the
moment
prices,
when the real world comes to space,
had they kept the prices of things like paint jobs and stuff where they were, I'd have been burning through ARX buying stuff.
Yep.
I probably would have. I would probably be sitting here today thinking I probably need to buy another package of ARX.
Yep.
But as it is, I'm still sitting on 30,000 ARX because I'm not spending that much on a paint job.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they're going to start having sales all of a sudden if they see the numbers don't go up enough.
I really feel like someone said it. I want to say it was Trax in general chat previously that increasing all the old stuff's price isn't the way to do it.
Exactly.
They have an art team. Even if they laid half of it off, they still have an art team. They could still be making new paints and putting those at a new price point.
Right.
Right.
That's what they needed to do. The common, mundane, everyday stuff, the blue hull paint or the gray hull paint needed to stay at, 640 or 680, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because
so you have a not bright red Mamba in case you hate red.
Right. And it's just a standard run-of-the-mill paint. If you want to make the Midnight Black paint job 6,000 ARX, hey, man, you go on with your bad self. You want to make the Osiris paint job 6,000 ARX? Yeah, you roll with that, buddy.
I like the Osiris ones.
Yeah, some of them are pretty nice. It really depends on the ship. I don't like the way they did that. And again, if they want to roll out new stuff, put that at a higher ARX price too. But leave some of the legacy stuff, especially what is basically entry level.
Yeah,
right.
Leave that cheap, so people can at least slap a coat of paint on a ship and do a little bit of personalization without having to buy a package of ARX. just to do it. That's pretty absurd. But if that's my biggest complaint about what they've done, I'll get over that.
Yeah, right.
And I really hope this brings in some money for them, because I know the latest, there was an article that came out in the British press, I believe yesterday, it may have been Wednesday, that FDev had projected about a $5 million loss coming into the end of their fiscal year, and
they projected a 10 and they only had a 5.
Oh, it's at 10 and only 5. But they did say they're doing much better than they expected.
Yeah, so it still sucks, but it's at least trending upwards, and that's great.
And FDev's fiscal year starts June 1st, so it runs through the end of May. So they're closing out their fiscal year now, and I mean, I hope they make some money off of this and have a solid end of the year. Because again, they've had a couple of bad years, and I selfishly want to continue playing this game.
Say,
just call me a selfish bastard, but hey, I mean, I want to keep playing this.
Frick.
All right, so let's move on to Community Corner. So, Commander Mr. Indigo is not with us tonight, but he will be hosting the May Buckyball race. So, I don't know when that starts. He did not let us know.
I believe it starts next week. I could be wrong on that. I'm trying to double check.
But that's all on the Buckyball Discord anyway.
Indeed.
And Commander Indigo, when you listen to this, put something up in the events channel so people on our Discord can find it too.
Or if you can't, ping me or Daxy. We'll throw it up there.
Yeah, that's true, because he probably doesn't have access to posting that. So let's get it up there so the people know. And we do have a note here from Commander Indigo to congratulate Alec Turner and Shay for winning the 2 classes in the first Buckyball race of the season, the Sulu's Sidewinder Trophy.
Frickin' Shay, man. I swear he's in the top 3 or at least top 5 every single race. That guy's a monster.
And Alec Turner is a machine.
Yeah, I think that's Alex's first. That's Alex's first win in that class. So
is it?
Yep.
Oh, in that class.
And he was actually, it might be his first win in everything. But what was funny was he wasn't in Lave this week to be able to brag on it. So.
Well, congratulations, Alec Turner. We know you listen. I want to continue to plug the Elite Dangerous, the French site that does just create your own adventures. Again, if you have not gone and checked that out, absolutely go and check that out. They have linked in-game experiences together to create little adventure paths. It's pretty cool, and it'll keep track of you going through them by reading your log, and once you log in, all kinds of stuff. It's just a phenomenal piece of work that they've done. They now have a tool out there to allow others to design their own adventures. I know we mentioned this last week, so I'm not going to go into the details. But and there was some talk about doing an introduction to Screw Space adventure for them too. So that may be coming in the near future.
The title of which is just "Abandon All Hope, Ye Who Enter Here."
The title of the Loose Screws adventure should be Pay to Adventure.
Pay to Adventure. No, it should be if you don't know. If you don't know, then fuck you.
Okay.
No, it's if you don't like it, fuck you.
Fuck you.
If you don't like it, fuck you. A Loose Screws adventure.
Yeah. Except we'll just do the abbreviation for that.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
IDLYFU.
Yeah. So apparently there is a new video from Daturi.
Yes, Daturi, he's back. He just had some real life stuff, so he didn't post for like a month. It happens.
Favorite content creator.
But he has a new video up going over the how-tos to get started doing bioscanning. After a couple videos of him basically stumbling across it, and then a live stream of him trying to figure it out, and now finally an actual instruction video. And I actually learned a few things watching it, and it's great. The guy's a great creator. Would recommend go give him likes.
Yeah, very good dude.
Cool. And then,
Also, Datiri, get back to me. I want to have you on.
that would be cool. That would be awesome.
He doesn't listen to us. Who am I kidding?
Well, send him the link.
Yet.
You're a link.
Work with me here, man. Work with me. And last, but certainly not in any resemblance of least, some dude has written a 72-page open letter to FDev that borders on psychotic manifesto.
What do you mean borders on? So,
Well,
I found this.
I haven't
in
read
Reddit.
anything past the beginning, so I can only say borders on.
I have. But so the story, as it was going along, I was just scrolling through the Elite Dangerous subreddit one day, and I found this up toward the top, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's how I found it too.
And so I clicked on it, and I didn't read the whole letter. I sort of like sped read it to try and get just the gist. You know what I mean? And it starts with like standard open letter bullcrap of you should fix X and Y and maybe pay attention to 1 and 2. And then quickly goes into something else and then goes on a tangent for a while. And then you're in Candyland. And then by the time it comes back, he's describing a different game. And I don't even know how he got there.
The fact that something like that just there's any daylight shed on that, it was just shared with the world. I'm like, oh my god.
Do I remember correctly that they said that this is 8 years in the making?
8
Yeah. So according to the
years.
author, they've been working on it basically since the game has been out. And it was shared by a friend of the guy with the guy that wrote its permission. And it's 73 pages, 8 years in the making. And the title of the posts on Reddit, which you can find in Chig Chat, the Reddit also has a link to the actual Google Doc where you can read it if you're feeling particularly insane. And
A challenge.
Yes, it is.
I think they will get back to him in about.
Yeah, I won't link the Google Doc directly just for security reasons. So if you want to find it, just find the Reddit link and you can find the Google Doc in there. But just every single comment in there is a combination of "Wow, this is a good idea" and "Go touch grass."
Yeah,
Just
two
go outside,
things.
man.
Yeah, two things to the author of this. One, if there's stuff in there that you're still holding on to from 8 years ago, dude, you got to let that go.
I let it go.
and two, please go touch grass.
Please.
If you need some particularly screwy people to talk to, come to our Discord. I promise we won't make fun of you too bad, but we will send memes.
If you need some particularly good grass, Nurgle used to maintain it at his old job. There's really good grass out there, man.
I don't know much about grass, but I know a guy.
It's really good grass, dude. That's really good grass.
This
That's the perfect way. That's the perfect way. There's a possible show title right there. Really good grass, dude.
Really good grass.
But that will get us demonetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
100%.
What's this podcast about?
We'll be getting those phone calls from
Oh my
certain
God.
3-letter agencies.
The DEA? What?
What are you talking about with good grass, man? Explain to me what that has to do with the game.
Just a form
And
of
then if that happens, you need to launch into
Oh
a
my
3-hour-long lecture about Kentucky bluegrass.
Dude,
Big
If I
fan.
could, I would, but I can't, so I don't.
this fucking game.
This
Fucking game.
TFG.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
We ready to wrap this up?
I think so.
I think we are.
All right. I think that's
All right.
it for us.
But
So
before we go, I have 2 questions for McGeek since he's never been on and he's been such a stalwart member of the community.
Yeah, man,
Uh-oh.
go ahead.
First,
afraid.
McGeek, what is your favorite ship and why?
Right now, my favorite ship is the Corvette.
Oh, it's a good one. I think we all know why.
Yeah.
Second question,
really
what
wild
is
to
your
get there.
favorite star system?
Ooh.
Well, The Rock, obviously.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, that's home, man.
Nice.
I am
That's all I had.
I am the original governor.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
All right. So, for Commander Adaxius, Commander Larkshadow, Commander McGeek, Commander Hate, Commander Oblivious, for the not present but always in our hearts and minds, Commander Mr. Indigo, and for the off doing something else, cheating on us with another podcast, Jay and Trax. I am Commander Nurgle. Our time here is done. We thank you for yours. Everybody say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And everyone, love you all.